So let's talk about, visiting, like what it's like to go to an observatory. Because you mentioned that they're in like super remote areas. What does that mean? Is it just in the middle of the desert? Are they up high on a mountain? What are we looking at?
So both of those things. We like to build telescopes in places that are very high and dry because it means that the air and weather quality is going to be really good. You want places that have good weather, so you're not going to lose nights to it raining or snowing or something like that. And you want an atmosphere that's very nice and still, because if the stars aren't twinkling very much, it means you're going to get a nice sharp picture of them. We also like building these in locations that are obviously very dark. If you built an observatory in New York City, you'd be a little disappointed because there's so many city lights putting light pollution into the sky and really wrecking what you might see. So some of the best sites in the world for astronomy are places like the desert in Arizona or Chile or the tops of mountains in Hawaii, places where you can really get away from city lights and really get to spots where the atmosphere is wonderfully, perfectly still and you can get the best images you possibly can. But sometimes getting out to these observatories is a whole adventure on its own, because you'll land at the big airport, fly to the small airport, fly to the smaller airport, drive for 3 hours, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Because some of these places, they're so like strict on the, it's got to be dark around there and everything, that they'll make you turn your headlights off in your car when you're driving there, right?
Yep. I've passed signs on the way up to multiple observatories saying no headlights after dark. And you're usually driving there during the day so that you have time to, get rest and get sleep. Because when you're observing, when you're taking the kind of data that we see with our eyes, at least, you're on a nocturnal schedule. So you do shift to sleeping while it's light out. But yeah, these aren't always the most developed or the most well-traveled roads too. So I have plenty of colleagues that have told me stories of some sort of car mishap going up or down this sort of bumpy mountain road when you can barely see and stuff like that.
Right, yeah. It's just so funny to picture a sign telling you to turn your headlights off. That's hilarious to me. Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned that you want like a place with a still atmosphere. What does that mean?
So there's a term in astronomy that we use called seeing, and it's basically it sounds like a made-up word, but it's a scientific term for how much blur you're getting from the atmosphere. You've probably seen an example of this if you've ever looked at pavement on a hot summer day and seen the sort of shimmering heat waves coming off the ground, right, blurring everything. Our atmosphere will do that to a certain extent to the light coming to us through the atmosphere. So if the atmosphere is moving around a little, it'll blur or mess with the light that we're getting. And when you see stars twinkling in the night sky, you're seeing an example of seeing. So we want places where the atmospheric turbulence is very small, very minimal, so that the pictures that we're taking of the stars are wonderfully, perfectly sharp. And you can do that if you're in a nice, high, dry, cold place where you're not going to get very much atmospheric turbulence. And even then, from night to night, it'll vary. We'll measure the seeing during a night, usually multiple times, so that we can actually say, oh, the atmosphere is giving us this much blur or this much blur, or very little. It's a really good night. But it's a really important aspect of astronomy because it affects the quality of the pictures that we take.
Right, yeah. So what are some of the other things that can affect or kind of make a night of observing go wrong, like the weather or, clouds or whatever it may be, I guess?
So there's plenty of things that can go wrong with weather. We can't observe when it's, say, raining or snowing because the giant perfect mirrors that we use in telescopes need to be kept really pristine, and you don't want water pouring onto those mirrors or freezing or anything.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. This is my dog, Murphy, and these are dog treats. Now I'll give Murphy one of these dog treats, and all you have to do is press the like button. Just press that little like button right down there at the bottom of this video, and this sweet, adorable, cute little puppy gets a treat. All thanks to you. All right, you did it? Okay, I believe you if you said you did it. There you go, Murph. She got that treat because of you. Now, I'll eat one of these treats, and all you have to do is click that subscribe button right there, pointing to it. Just click that subscribe button, subscribe to Curiosityness with me, Travis DeRose. Get lots of good video, and I'll eat this treat. All right, you did that too? That's not very good. Bro, not very good.